There's a reason he's out. And I don't know what it is. But it's very odd that he would be able to make bail.
Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. Who is he? Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And who is he? Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And what he do? And it's gonna react to all the self-snitching.
Hi, this is Bruce Rivers. Welcome to a fun-filled episode of Criminal Lawyer Reacts. I'm Bruce Rivers, coming to you with my pearl-handled pistol cufflinks, graciously given to me by our content genius, Michael Rivers, who's behind the camera, making me say all the stuff that I'm saying. I have no brain of my own. Without him, there would be no channel, and that's actually probably true. So we're coming to you after a little bit of a break. We took a little hiatus, a little 4th of July break, and that's because, well, I'm not going to lie, my basement was flooded with anhydrous ammonia. My grandparents had a meth lab going in there, so we had to call these people to come out and clean it. And guess what? You know, I couldn't get over there to sign anything, so it was eSign.com. eSign.com was a very effective way for me to remotely do business to clean up my grandparents' mess. I couldn't make it in there, so you downloaded the app. We had 3 free signatures, and now, with all the other crap going on, they cleaned it up, and so I have now committed my grandparents to a correctional institution because of their misdeeds. But I was grateful to have eSign.com because without them, I wouldn't have been able to get the job done as fast as I did. So eSign.com, a very effective way to remotely do business. So now I'm hoping you guys had a good 4th of July. I did. We spent the weekend on my yacht. Cheers.
Actually hit my head a lot when I was a kid.
That explains a lot.
That's a lot of spicy meatball!
What does that do to you?
Killer. That's a booty more here to it.
Oh my god, Michael, run.
And just kind of had a fire on the on the point, and it's right on a river, and it's just absolutely stunningly beautiful. And so we just the content genius was out there. We made pizzas. We just had a great time. Drank a lot of rosé. We rosé all day, and it was just a blast. 4th of July is one of my favorite holidays. It gives you time to really think about how lucky we are in this country to have some of the rights and privileges that we do. And, the burden of proof is on the government to prove their case. You have the right against self-incrimination. You have the right to have a lawyer. You have all these different rights, the right against unreasonable searches and seizures that a lot of countries don't have. And because we have them, people talk about victims and their rights and everything. Well, we try to protect the rights of the accused, because if they can do whatever they want to the accused, then they can do it to you too, right? So today we're gonna give you a little bit of a recap and an update on the Melly case. So now I'm gonna react to this video here. Bortlen was in court this last week, and let's just kind of watch, and we're gonna talk a little bit about more what I think is gonna happen.
Bortlen Henry?
Yes, sir. He's present.
That you in the back of the
Status conference.
Come on up.
I guess you're already trial with co-defendant right now. We're set for October 3rd for trial. Status conference in September. I think we're up scheduled.
So this is kind of odd, right during the Melly trial, that they would have an appearance for Bortlen. I don't think you can read anything into that, but this is what that is. So if you heard him, he said there's an appearance or a trial date of October with a status conference in September.
That's good for that. In terms of
We have a trial date already?
Yes.
A lot of times you should check in with the judge to make sure there aren't any outstanding issues, because you don't want to get to the day of trial, bring the jury up, and all of a sudden you can't try the case. That's pretty common.
That's good with everybody?
so far. We're finished with our other one.
You hear that? Is it that October date good with everybody? Yeah, so long as we're finished with this one. So, is it possible this could go that long? I don't think it's going to go that long, honestly.
So, you had a motion pending as well?
Yes, Judge. As the court, when we were here the last time, you let him go to church and stuff, you said about working, you would be subject to seeing the schedule. We filed a schedule for the next couple of months.
Now, here's why I'm suspect of this. He is a charged defendant in a homicide, double homicide case. And he's not in custody. And he's on home monitoring. Now he wants to go to work. You don't see that very often.
He would like to be able to work, and I talked to his probation supervisor. She has no problem with him at all.
And what kind of fucking job is he going to have right now? I mean, this is kind of silly in a way. Is he going to get a job at a mortuary because he's got some experience with that now? Or is this more about music and making music? And what kind of music is he going to make? Self-snitching music? My guess is that the latter is probably...
She said that if he's going to go to work, she'd like anybody has to do, provide an itinerary, where he's going to be, how he's...
Like anybody who's charged with a double homicide has to do. Give me a fucking break. There's a reason he's out. And I don't know what it is. But it's very odd that he would be able to make bail. And that Melly wouldn't. You know, I think Melly's being held without bail.
Going to get there, how it's going to get done, when he's going to be back, you know, and the normal check-in, drug testing, everything that goes with that.
Thank you. Anything else you want to
I don't think so. I think that covers it.
How about the state? What's the state's position on laws?
Karen, he's violated his pretrial in the past. That's why he denied the work at the previous time.
He's violated his pretrial in the past. In other words, when you get charged with a crime, the court can impose conditions on your release. In other words, you get arrested, you go to jail. All right, so now what? You can put bail on him, and then you can put all kinds of conditions on him, like curfew, drug testing, that kind of stuff. And that's what she's talking about. He's violated some of those conditions that were set before.
And was maintained a schedule that he was not allowed to work. So that you said you're going to revisit it. This schedule includes, locations all across the eastern seaboard and Midwest in terms of the ability to supervise for probation and pretrial.
Traveling all over the fucking country when you got a double homicide, how safe does that sound for the judge to allow him to do that? We find out that he violated his conditions of release by saying he was going to go to work on at least 2 different occasions and wound up at a strip bar. Unless you're working at a strip bar, I don't think he's stripping, but he's having fun. And if I'm the judge, I'd probably revoke his bail. His bail is only $90,000. Why the hell was his bail only $90,000 on a double homicide? That is insanely low.
That is almost impossible. With regards to the time frames and all of the studio issues on that, I don't understand why they have to be until midnight or 11 p.m., why they can't be done during other hours on that. So the state would object. And he's already shown prior issues with pretrial. So for those reasons, the state would say that the current schedule, and it only needs to be maintained for another 3 or 4 months at this point before we'll be.
Now, I know that Bortlen has been posting a lot of pro-Melly stuff online, but I would not be surprised, mark my words, that he winds up testifying later. Because they're going to try to hang the jacket on him. And so here's the thing. When people say, I've seen online, the trial's going to wrap up here soon. It ain't going to wrap up anytime soon. First of all, you haven't had the medical examiner testify. You haven't had some of the other crime scene people testify. And you're going to also have the defense case. So this case is so far from over. But watch Bortlen, because Bortlen's on the verge of being taken back into custody for violating his conditions of release. And I would bet $1 to a hole in a donut that he does testify.
In trial.
Thank you. Anything else?
No, I just think that Judge, he wants to work. He violated previously because he was going to shows that were at it's a place they didn't like.
He went to a strip bar. I mean, he went to shows. I mean, he didn't. When you violate repeatedly a judge's court order, the judge will shove that court order up your ass, and you can't do what you want to do. It's as simple as that. The government now controls your life. This is what I've been telling you guys. You can't let the government control your life. And the only way you don't do that is by playing by some rules, not committing illegal acts, and keeping Uncle Sam off your back.
Where he's going to be now, his supervisor doesn't have a problem. If he violates, he's going to prison or jail. He's not going to be out. He's been back in without the ability to do anything for months. So I was,
Hold on.
yes.
Respectfully, motion denied. All right. Thank you.
Do you think did the judge waiver there at all?
Hold on.
Yes.
Respectfully, motion denied.
Respectfully, motion denied. I mean, he didn't even think about it. He probably had it. This is what I hate. I hate it when a judge already has the order filled out before I even start doing my argument, and that's what that sounded like.
Okay, see you next week.
Thank you.
Okay, now look at this. This pisses me off. You're in fucking court. You're in fucking court, and you don't wear a tie? You don't wear a tie? Give me a break. You know, I've seen guys wear tennis shoes. I've seen them wear jeans. You know, I mean, unless it's an emergency hearing, come on.
All right, let's get on.
The client looks better than the lawyer. That is our reaction to that. So now where are we at with the trial? Well, you've got medical examiner evidence because you remember we had the ballistics guy that testified the trajectory of the bullets and the caliber of the one that was found in the rear passenger seat and how that matched with where Melly got into the car and how he knows for sure that they were all fired from the one position, and then you could tell that any injuries that happened from outside the car were not fatal because they were already dead. How do they know they were already dead? They know they're already dead because if you hit me here and my heart's not beating, blood isn't going to ooze out. You know that? So that's how they could tell that they were already dead when they were shot from outside the car. So you'll have the medical examiner testify next week. I think they took the rest of the week off, if I'm not mistaken. And so you'll have the medical examiner testify next week. You'll have other crime scene people testify. You'll have a bunch of other cops that will testify, and maybe even some other lay witnesses. Then you're going to have Melly's turn in probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks, and then they'll start presenting evidence. And, you know, they'll probably have their own medical examiner. They should have their own expert in terms of the trajectory of the bullets. Whether Bortlen testifies or not remains to be seen. I'll bet you anything Melly is not going to testify. Melly, that's my prediction. Melly will not testify. I think it would be absolutely foolhardy for the lawyers to have him testify, especially when there's so many text messages out there that they can really hit home with on cross-examination. And when I start telling you that I think Bortlen's going to testify, I don't know that for sure. It's just an educated guess. But the defense definitely is going to try to hang the jack. If you remember what they said in their opening statement. And they likened it to one of many other suspects that could have done this. And, you know, the guy who brought the guys to the ER, you know, knowing everything is BS. Well, what does that tell you? I mean, that tells you all you need to know. And if you remember what Bortlen's charged with, he's charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder and 2 counts of accessory to first-degree murder, which carries the same penalty, life without parole. He's not looking at the death penalty, though, I don't think. But he's still looking at life without. He is probably the most one on the hook for this because he was the last one with the guys, right? But think about it this way. If you think about what actually happened here, Melly's in, and let's say Bortlen didn't know what was going down, okay? And so you've got Bortlen in the driver's seat. You got the 2 other guys in the passenger side, front and rear seat, and you got Melly in the driver's side rear seat. So passenger over there, pop, 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 and so now he kills them both. Now if Bortlen if this was a surprise to him and this just pop, pop happened, that's one thing. And he would have a defense of duress, I would think, for continuing on with either a charade or some kind of, you know, accessory after the fact. So we'll see. We're going to follow this. We'll see you Monday on this issue, or maybe probably Tuesday of next week, and we'll continue to follow this and see where the state goes with their case. So we'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts. Make sure you subscribe, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, subscribe to Patreon, and we'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts.
Bruce Rivers just broke down your case. He know all the charges that you about to face. You ain't coming home till 2058. That self-snitching gon' get you put away. Bruce Rivers just broke down your case. He know all the charges that you about to face. You ain't coming home till 2058. That self-snitching gon' get you put away.
23-hour lockdown, police is at my call.